Hi, I'm Naomi Hodzik. I'm the People's Party of candidate for Vancouver Granville. I want to thank the Community Centre for having us here tonight. Thank you for all of your work and for the volunteers. Thank you so much. And thank you all for coming too. This is always a very important discussion to have. So I was born in Vancouver Granville, and I've been in the Lower Mainland my whole life. I studied political science and international relations at UBC and am I volunteer as a support worker for people with addictions and post-traumatic stress disorder in the downtown east side. I'm proud to be running for the only party for the people, the People's Party of Canada. We have a plan that will benefit all Canadians. I'm not a Nazi, racist, fascist, homophobe, transphobe, anti-immigrant, or any other intolerant ideologue. Now let me share why this approach to shutting down discourse is harmful to Canadian unity. I believe that Canada is naturally multicultural, diverse, and tolerant, not that we are these values because of government legislation. Virtue signaling rhetoric and buzzwords are dividing us and have been designed to silence any critics and to silence the truth. The consequence of pandering is devastating vulnerable groups that are not fashionable enough to care about. Falun Gong practitioners whose organs are being harvested are being ignored. People with disabilities who need discriminatory regulation fixed to succeed are being ignored. Veterans dying from suicide because they're not getting their benefits or living hand to mouth are being ignored. Just a few hours ago, it was announced that Ottawa made more cuts to healthcare for veterans. Jewish people, who still must fight against anti-Semitism and Holocaust abuse every day, are being ignored. The Holocaust is still unrightfully used as a benchmark for human rights abuse. Indigenous people, still under the patriarchal Indian Act and with unclean water supply, are being ignored. Maxime Bernier said it right last night at the debates. The other parties say they believe in diversity, but they don't believe in true diversity. They believe in legislative diversity brought on by a big fat government and an elite group circle, not in the people and not in all Canadians. We're a free democracy, and we believe in freedom. When you maximize freedom, the result is that you maximize differences. Historically, the societies that have been the freest have also been the most prosperous for the individuals. Canadians have tried the Liberal government. They've been disenchanted with the Conservative government. The government's policies have been incredibly detrimental to small business, the backbone of employment in Canada. Now the government has taken all of our money. The solution is to tax more and offer endless promises of free everything. This will not work. It was tried in Venezuela. When difficult conversations arise, of course we must discuss them, not promote censorship. The other leaders don't want to listen to Canadians, but they don't want to respect them. What we are saying, what our party is saying, represents what most Canadians want, and that's been proven in the polls. We're doing politics differently. That's what Canada wants. Canada finally has something to vote for, not something to vote against. Radicalism, including radical leftists, have no place in the government. Socialists and Marxists always revert to their base beliefs. If you don't agree with me, you don't deserve a platform. That's why this belief system ends up with gulags and murdering millions. I would know because my parents ran away from such a system. I'm a second-generation Canadian from Polish immigrant parents. These major establishment parties, they're hypocrites. This is exactly the reason why Maxime Bernier bravely fought back by leaving the Conservative Party and sticking to his conviction. This shows true courage and conviction. This is what Canadians need to govern their country and their home. The candidates up here will tell you that the pipelines in the oil industry are bad. I'm going to tell you that it's what's going to unite Canadians. Trudeau still claims that he went along with the SNC Lavalin affair because of jobs. Well, he didn't care about the tens of thousands of jobs lost in Alberta that have led to poverty and suicide of those affected. We need fair equalization, which is something that no one else is talking about, which is it unfairly uses Alberta. If we're not careful, we're going to have a separatist movement on our hands. Unity will ironically come from Quebec in the form of our leader, Maxime Bernier. Now to the real issues, the issues that matter to our country. Our economic policy will equally benefit all Canadians. We will encourage Canadians to invest in themselves by changing the income tax structure. We will shrink our bloated and wasted government. We will abolish the federal carbon tax. We will abolish the capital gains tax. We will end corporate bailouts, grants, and subsidies. We will restore and maintain freedom of speech. We will have environmentally responsible resource development. We will have responsible immigration levels. This will leave more money in your pocket and small businesses, which are the backbone and the largest block of employers in Canada. This will allow them to invest in growing their business and to hire more Canadians. Small businesses that the Liberal Party likes to call are wealthy are, by the way, run by immigrants and people with disabilities that can't find work to accommodate them. Fairness for all Canadians means getting rid of supply management of dairy, eggs, and poultry because it's a tax on the poor benefiting the rich. If you want to help youth, you can start by cutting taxes and spending. The deficits of today are going to be the taxes of tomorrow. We need to focus on actually balancing the budget, which we will do in 2 years. We need to deal with foreign homeowners and mass immigration that's driving up the cost of real estate and affecting housing supply and affordability. Canadians are so burdened with the stress of debt, and all my political opponents propose to continue the same policies that have not worked. PPC wants to keep money in your pocket. Healthcare is so important, but it cannot be left up to the federal government. It is a provincial jurisdiction, and rightfully so. The needs of Nova Scotia are going to be different from those needs in Nunavut and Alberta. We will allow provinces to keep GST taxes instead of transferring money from the central government, reducing red tape and bureaucracy, therefore giving more money to the provinces to spend on healthcare. I will fight for you, whether you are gay, straight, polyamorous, trans, an immigrant, veteran, senior, no matter your religion or ethnicity, you are Canadian. Democracy doesn't work if you don't vote for what you believe in. Vote from your heart, and if you want real change, I'm going to ask you to vote for the People's Party of Canada. Thank you.